Hello and welcome. Now day 8 as we leave Phang Nga province and a road trip to Krabi province, just 86 kilometres away. A bit more than an hour to get there, and it's a very scenic and peaceful drive. We do call into the cave temple, Wat Suwan Khuha, just 13 minutes away as we check out of our old hotel, but we can't check into our pre-booked digs at Tham Ta Pan until 3 p.m. It is a Thai family-run, nature-inspired resort just a kilometre away from the riverboat tours and the gorgeous beach. Let's start with the beach. Hamanaptra, that's what I call it. It's a tranquil beach backed by a tall tree-covered park with food and drink vendors, a campsite, and it's a great place to cool down, read or eat. And it gives yourself a break from the beach, which from sunrise to sunset is in full sun. At the entrance and car park is a busy short road. This is full of tour and dive shops, supermarkets and restaurants. Behind this street is the river and the piers for the tour boats and resorts.
Busy now, tour buses coming in, tuk-tuks, for the upcoming road trip. It's hard getting in and out of there. It's constant flow. Traffic going. 7 o'clock they were closed, those shops. So must be getting on the 8 o'clock. It's a nice time to come to the beach. It's sunrise in a couple of hours and there's nobody here. Same at about 4 o'clock. You get a big exodus about 4 o'clock and all head back. Tuk-tuk pick-up points, the hotels arrange it, and even our resort arranges free tuk-tuk. So it leaves you about an hour and a half. The last rays of the day, so maybe 20 people on the beach. And Ladder parked a bit higher up.
There's offshore islands reachable by foot at low tide. This may be a national park. We normally charge a 200 baht a day. Walking from the beach to the island, I never saw any office where they would take the money from you. Head to Noppharat Thara beach to give it its true name, though when you're driving the signs don't have spaces and it's just one long name. So this is a view over the tree line, the adjacent river. You can see the tour boats going out. And that speedboat at the rear end, we'll be catching that for a trip later on. So the top of the view where the river is, you can see a couple of limestone hills or mountains, and the one on the right hand side with a lump protruding from its side. That's pretty close to our resort, and it's a good landmark. This aerial view at low tide of the north end of the beach, you can see how you can just walk across the sand to the islands.
Noppharat Thara beach. It's about 7:30, just starting to get live. You've got exercise people here, we've seen people running by. The boat people, so that side like the peninsula to the river. And they're getting ready to take their tourists out of the islands. It's like a nice park where you park up and it's just a short walk to the beach. The vendors are just setting up.
When you take to the beach, there's not a shop or a vendor in sight. There's no sunbeds or parasols. But when there is vendors, they tend to do a bit of raking of the sand and tidy up, so do clean up after yourself. The wind that blows north along the beach towards a bit of the peninsula deposits the finest white sand. I guess was better than PP Island, and it is. and unless you are staying overnight on the islands, you get to see sunrise, sunsets and the low tide across to the 3 islands. Just shoo away the baby black-tipped reef sharks. I was told the beach was also covered with baby crabs the week before, like Roy Yacht Wat, our previous episode.
You get to know your rocks. You should call this Krabi or something. So that there, that's one of our like bedroom places onto. It's overshadows the lake. The resort, so it's 4 minutes from there to here by car. But the sand, this is the sand. Beautiful, soft, white sand that you see on Phi Island and Bamboo Island. And growing amongst this is the morning glory, which a lot of that goes into your stir fry meals. But when you get down to the edge, there's a lot of crushed shell being washed up. Fine gravel crushed shell, so it's a bit sharp under the feet at the water's edge. And the sand can be a bit yellow.
As well as the wind blowing the nice sand onto the beach, it also blows in the floating vegetation that comes down the river. So there's a patch of about 20 yards where you get a lot of just dead dying vegetation, and your crabs and insects will finish it off and the birds will be pecking away at it. But sometimes it's referred to as sewage on the review sites. It's just a bit of nature being washed up. And again, there's no councils in Thailand. It'll be up to the locals, the tourists and nature to keep the beach tidy. From the park, which has its own campsite, you only have to drive 500 metres south along the beach road before the resorts, restaurants, bars and tourist shops come into view, as well as the Ao Nang famous night market. It's referred to as Ao Nang Beach, but it is still Noppharat Thara. It ends at the tree-covered hill at the end of the beach, and then Ao Nang Beach begins. So if you're in the area of Hat Noppharat Thara Beach, do come down to the north end. You see some great sunrises and sunsets. The beach is really wide, quite a lot of space, and it's great for relaxing. And you can see that, and with the beach in the park, it's a real chill factor. That was Hat Noppharat Thara Beach, on the early drive through to Ao Nang Beach, as can be seen on the map with the 2 yellow arrows. The south side of the beach, you've got the landmark night market and the Ao Nang big night market, and at night time the tourist side really comes alive, and we'll be covering that in a future episode. The next car ride is to our resort, the Baan Lakeside Resort. This is the third and final one which we had pre-booked, and we're here for 3 nights, and it's in the red arrow at the top of the map. It was the first time I used Airbnb, and we booked this before we came, but we could not find it in Google Maps, and it turned out they weren't using the correct name for the place. The host said they would forward GPS coordinates after the payment had gone through. What I did was look at the mountain, and I found the spot on Google Maps and found what it was actually called, and I booked it through booking.com, and it turned out it was half the price. So this area is known as Tambon Ao Nang, and just around the resort area some of the widest roads are like highways I've ever seen, but there's no cars, there's no traffic on them, and there's not a lot of buildings down this way, so whether that's planned for the future. So turn right almost on the dirt road down to where the resort is. We'll come from that resort if you want to go to the pier. It's a pleasant 20-minute walk down to the piers where you can hire a boat. That's the swimming pool.
come in. One big room. This is aircon when we walked in. It smells lovely. This is a massive bed. It's like two queen sizes together. It's a glass double doors. Overlooking the lake. And there's a mountain view to the left. We'll see that later. Obviously I've got the aircon. Flat screen TV. Smart TV, we can get Netflix and Disney Channel on. And we've got our first safe. When we drop it off with the downstairs desk in the hotel, I'll just lock them in the car. Nice tile bathrooms, some of them just a smooth cement wall. That's a busy end. There we are, that's a Phang Nga Lake Resort in Krabi. I booked this for come away. Airbnb has to say £150 a night, and booking.com £25. It's a good sized bedroom, and that is double queen or double king in size. Unusual aircon. It's huge.
So we really soaked up the ambience here. The pool was just by the door with a refreshing waterfall in it. Did a bit of reading by the pool or just sat in the sun. There's pedalo boats for to go around the lake. There's a restaurant at the lakeside. And it's a nice walk through the grounds. Just to the right where the balcony is when we sit by the lake, there's a nice flowering tree there. And there's always a large hummingbird. You just catch him in the corner of your eye. But when you get the camera out, he's away. There's little Instagram spots like swings and boats to sit by. You're going to photograph against the lake and the mountain. So let's talk about the lake. As you look out the balcony, you look straight down and see shoal of small fish around 50mm. These are panchax killifish, Aplocheilus panchax, referred to as the three-eyed killifish. Popular in the freshwater aquarium trade, but the third eye is a light sensitive plate on the top of the head, which is bad news if you're a mosquito or other flying insect, one of the most efficient mosquito catchers on the planet.
I think somebody's feeding these because he's come to see me. Went down when I first got here. We'll give him some food.
We'll also see crabs floating around, quite large crabs and hermit crabs. Lots of mollusks and other snails. It was quite amusing to see what looked like a large red South American cichlid that just came up to the shallows, lying on its side looking up at you. And then you could see there was a few more cichlids out there. These turned out to be red mangrove cichlids. So it's obvious whoever stays at these lakeside cabins feeds the fish. So it became quite usual for us to go to the restaurant for prawns and sticky rice. So when you're feeding the cichlids, they're around 30cm long. But then the fish kept coming in and getting bigger and bigger. And it turned out the big ones were tuna. There was also a shark cleaner fish in there as well. The lake's 7-year-old and it was topped up with seawater, and the sea's around 1 kilometre away, so that would have been some effort. So again, seawater, there's no mosquitoes. And it's a family-run business. There's the old dad who doesn't speak much English, but I'd love to have a chat with him. So, get a bit of understanding out of him. But his two daughters, they run the place. They're in the reception in the restaurant, plus other members of the family. And they do look after you really well. So the compressed looking fish, that's around 1 metre long, that's known as a sea perch or a sea bass, and it's called a barramundi. None of the fish in the lake are fished out, not even by the restaurant, although there are 2 holding pools near the restaurant, and strangely enough one of them is full of African perch cichlids, which originate from the freshwater lakes in Africa, and they're part of the menu. And we'll have a look at the restaurant and the grounds in a later episode. It will be difficult to drag ourselves away from here to go touring. We do have to change our itinerary with missing out Phuket and probably the Indian Ocean coastline, as the car has to be returned to Hua Hin. And that could give us a few extra days here. First impressions of Krabi. It's a very beautiful place, a lot of natural beauty. With the landscape, the colours of the forest and trees and the sea. A lot of businesses have used that natural beauty to set up food and drink establishments, which also helps to make them very popular. There's a lot of cultural attractions in the area to see, as well as a lot of tourist attractions, and that's for all ages, for children as well as older people. If you're one of those people like to spend the whole vacation in one place, this is definitely the place for you. Not just the Krabi province, but you have access to the boats and tour taxis, and you can go to Phang Nga Bay to the islands as well as island of Phuket. And definitely there's a lot less activity here than is in Phuket, and it's a lot cheaper, although that might change as people realise that this is a better option. So back to the beginning. As we left Phang Nga to travel down to our digs in Krabi, we called into the local highly rated cave temple. The entrance to Suwan Khuha Cave Temple. So entranceway here, and the temple's in this mountain. And it is quite hollow. At the entrance to the cave temple, they will sell you bags of food for the monkeys, and the food is corn, but what you're feeding are hundreds of pigeons. Now they're going higher and higher. Not the nice doves that are in Thailand, but these are like the pirate pigeons. And there was only one monkey there, and a lot of people commented where the monkeys had gone. During COVID, they'd packed the bags and left. Or maybe on gas mark 5, 20 minutes a kilo. But as tourists return, the monkeys return as well. So now they're probably all back. It just shows you, feeding them encourages them. This Suwan Cave Temple. Admission through an entrance in a cave. However, none of the monkeys make the journey into the cave, so whether they're chased out. Buddhas. So we're taking a bit of culture in the morning, as we can't check into our Baan resort until 3 PM. But it's good that we have an air-conditioned car to sit in and get change of clothes. So we'll push the cave temple to the back of the video, as I find people are switching off when it comes to temples. Buddha's feet, reclining Buddha. And we just make offering to Buddha, incense. Water's better than people putting pop because it just attracts the flies and the wasps. sometimes a good food as well. And I left it to last because you have to take your shoes off to come up here. So I left it to last. That's okay. You can look down on reclining Buddha. And you can see the cave. I think the mountain from outside is partly hollow inside. So if you're comparing this temple to the haunted temple that was sold the day before, main pros are it's well lit here, so you can appreciate the colours and the shapes, and it's had a good sweep out. The downside is where the light cave is. It's an entrance halfway up, comes out the side of the mountain into a forest, which means the warm air that's outside just blows straight through the cave, and it's quite hot and sticky in here. While the haunted temple cave was one way in and one way out, and it was quite cool. And there's a nice seating area at the light cave, but it's spoiled by the amount of pigeons that are in there because people are feeding them. Also midway through the cave, it comes out to an opening halfway up the bank over a forest. And this is where the bats fly in and out of, and we could not see any bats, and there was a couple of other tourists there who were familiar with the bats before, and they said they weren't there. So again, I don't know why the bats would leave, but apparently they are coming back now. The tree we're so used to seeing in Cambodia, so there's massive anchor roots that just run around, hold it firm in the ground, and then the roots will run off all the way up as it grabs. Yeah, I think in this place it's a rock wall right up to about, I don't know, 200 foot. It's towering. It's this large tree with the large flanges on the sides supporting it. These are the banyan trees, and they're popular in the old temples where they can be 100-year-old and absolutely huge. Yeah, probably a lot more than 100-year-old. And these flanges just break open the temple walls. But we followed a route system when we wanted a temple in Cambodia, and it travelled 100 metres across the hard stone temple floor until it dropped into the jungle floor and rooted itself. This is about a quarter way through. You come out to an entrance called the Light Cave, because there's an entry into it, or entry exit. And this is a view for that. But you're still up, part of the way up the mountain, so you can't really go down this way. Yeah, so wouldn't be safe as like a bridge made with a tree. Take you lower down. It's a cave temple. You can spend an hour strolling through the Wat Tham Ta Pan temple. It's well illuminated, paths are clearly defined with handrails, concrete or metal staircases to the next levels. There's no bodies of water in here, no streams. It is dry season, but I can't see anywhere where the pools of water would form. And you can go off-piste and explore anywhere in the cave and take a good look at the limestone formations that have come from the ground, from the ceiling and down the sides of the walls. And of course they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for rainwater. This is a walk up through the mountain. The cave Buddha is down there. We'll come up a few flights. More stairs to go. That's from the highest point. We haven't been there. Let's go down that one. On the shaky staircase. Find a way to this. Oh yeah, must be able to jump down from here. So this is the highest point
I know, look at these natural rock formations.
So climbing to the highest point, you can just nip over a rock wall, and the end of the cave just tapers to a point where it's too narrow to get through.
There you go.
And looking down from the highest point, it's as if you're on a 10-story building, looking down at the various levels and the people coming up the staircases to where you are. So there's a lot of natural beauty in the form of the rock floors, and it's well worth a visit here. Maybe as part of another excursion, so you're down to the piers and taking a boat ride. So I imagine in the rainy season it might be different in here. There was recently, I saw on the news, where one of these tourist spots, cabins, had collapsed, and there was no tourists in there at the time. And I'm thinking it was the rainy season where people just wouldn't go into them anyway. And I certainly don't think they have earthquakes in Thailand. So my previous episode on the haunted temple, the cave temple there did have running water flowing through it, and it is a 20-minute ride from here. Maybe another reason why that temple was so much cooler than this one.